we've got a lot of principles when it comes to buying real estate, and you'll hear some of them throughout this. We've got about 35 of them. But one of them is you have to have an objective going into a conversation and a takeaway coming out, because it keeps you focused, and then it also keeps you intentional on the back end. And so a lot of people, their objective is to buy deals. And that's the reason they never buy any deals, because they're just focused on that. I'm not focused, and now I becomes a we because we're a partnership on all this stuff. We're not focused on buying deals. We're focused on learning how people got to where they're at. Because I can learn more through the story than the real estate. The story is always worth more than the real estate. So I call someone up and I'm not asking them to sell to me. I learned how they got to where they're at. I learned the pitfalls that they faced. I did this, and I don't even need to buy from all of them. I don't hope to buy from them because that's not my objective, but that's how I met in person for the first time with Brenton. And we had been talking online, saw a picture of him that he posted, his real estate headshot with a Speedo. Super great marketing. It's all over Facebook.
I'm going to look at that, man. I maybe should put that in my back on the back here.
It's great marketing. Then he's got his hat and the tractor. But we were talking online, and then I just asked if I could fly up, and then the schedule didn't work. And then he said, hey, I've got a party. And so I came up and stayed the night at his place in Colorado. And I learned more about his story, what he did, some of the hows of how he got to where he's at when he traded up. And just by doing that with a whole bunch of different owners that I didn't intend to buy anything from, I don't want to buy in California, but I can learn bits and pieces from that story and then apply that on future real estate deals. The goal is to learn how to go apply a whole bunch of different techniques, creative, take the best pieces from everyone's story and use it to build my own. But as a result of going and meeting with these people, built a relationship, and the unexpected benefits that came from that is a lot of them ended up selling properties to me.
Yeah, jumping off that, we found that with owners, it's usually a relatively tight-knit community. There's not a ton of people in a given market who own everything. Now, if you're in a huge city like LA, obviously you break that into sub-markets, but in a given area, there's only so many players. And so we invest pretty heavily in Central Washington. We keep that portfolio fairly tight over there. There's only so many people who own real estate. There's a few whales, and there's a few people who own a few buildings, and a couple people who just own the one asset. We have I guess it's more of a philosophy of like, let's try to meet with at least one new person every week. It's usually 1 to 2 new owners every week, but we're never looking for a deal. It just turns out if you meet with 52 new people in a year who all own in that market, and you're talking about their goals and they're learning about yours, when everyone knows who you are and what you're doing and you know all their pieces, the opportunities just present themselves. Like the pipeline's more than we could realistically close, but we never went after a deal. And those relationships are where we have the trust to do things like low down seller financing, because they know how we operate and they know who we are. We're not just someone who called them asking to sell a property. It's completely different from how I think a lot of people are doing real estate, especially out of the BRRRR community, the wholesale community. Yeah. Nothing inherently wrong with those by themselves, but the marketing for that is, hey, are you interested in selling? Are you interested in selling? And that's just not what we're doing.